Hello, welcome to today's episode. We are joined by Kyle, co-founder of EncourageWell, a company dedicated to creating handcrafted collaborative wedding books. Kyle, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited. Grateful to be here. And good to
Yeah,
good to see you again, Alex.
I know. It's always good to see you too. I am happy that us co-Colorado local-ish, I guess you could say that now, are able to collaborate on this. This is so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah, yeah. And I know our listeners are going to have such a great time learning about you and your wife and what you guys have created
Mm,
together, and how we can potentially change the standard for the wedding industry of this sort of type of
mm.
book and gift that we can possibly bring. So we're excited to learn more about it. Kyle, can you share a bit about your background and what inspired you to start Encourage Well and the Join Well wedding books?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you mentioned it. I co-founded EncourageWell with my wife. I'd be crazy if I didn't say she was a big part of that inspiration. But we've been married about 12 years now. We got married in Vail, which is Alex. I know that's
Awesome.
where you're at.
Yeah.
We now live down in Denver. We're kind of
Mhm.
that prototypical Colorado family. Love to do all the things. We were skiing yesterday with all of us,
I would love
um,
it.
and all of us includes four young kids. So me and my wife are busy, and life is full. I got three beautiful daughters, and my son's beautiful too. I'll throw him in the mix there. Um, but yeah, that's a little bit about my background. And what inspired us to start Encourage Well. And you'll probably hear me reference Encourage Well and the Join Well book. So the
Mhm.
Encourage Well is this tool that we've created. It's a platform, and I'll explain it a little bit more. But the Join Well book is our wedding related book that we're really excited about. Um, yeah, so when I think of what inspired it, I think it was a couple of things. Like, number one, weddings are so important. We call it the big day for a reason. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, right. We invite the people we love and cherish the most. People travel
Right.
from all over the country, across town, across the globe to come and I think there's something innate in all of us. It's like we know that taking this sort of commitment where two people are going, hey, we for better, for worse, richer, poorer, right, in sickness and health, we're going to commit to each other.
Right.
And I think we want to witness that. We want to be a part of that. We want to see it. So we know these moments are big, and so that's probably the primary reason and
Yeah.
inspiration. But along with that, maybe like a year ago, year plus ago, our kids were looking at our wedding photo album, and we've got it on our kind of like a bookshelf by our fireplace. And they grabbed it and they were flipping through, and they saw a picture of their grandpa,
Hmm.
and he was giving a speech, his father of the bride speech, and um, beautiful, awesome picture. He's a very, very introverted, kind of quiet man, very thoughtful and caring, but just quiet. So giving a speech in front of people is like probably not high on his list of things to do, but he just killed it. Like not a dry eye in the room. It was so powerful and moving.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And so our
Yeah.
kids are looking at it and going, "Hey, what was Grandpa saying here?" And me and my wife like turned to each other and we're like shrugging. We're like, "We don't remember."
Yeah.
He was giving us some encouragement about our marriage and just kind of general things we could say about what a speech is, but we couldn't
Right.
remember the speech.
Hmm.
And like it kind of killed us a little bit of like,
Yeah.
man, what an important moment. And it wasn't like we intended to not remember it, but
Right. Right.
time has a way of kind of fading our memories. So um,
Exactly. And I know in moments like that, while you're sitting there, you're like, man, I'm never going to forget this moment. Like this is so
yeah,
special. How could I forget something like this? But then, like you said, time goes on and those things kind of slip. And next thing you know, it's your exact situation where they're like, Daddy, what was grandpa saying? And you're like, that's a great question.
yes, yeah. Here's
Yeah.
this keystone moment and something that like we knew and we were totally present in that moment. Like,
Oh, yeah.
but it just, yeah, time is funny. Time is
Mhm.
funny.
Oh, it really is. I know. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, even if you like totally outside of this, but like if you're like go to the grocery store and you're like, "Oh, I remember what I need," and then you get there and you're like, "Oh, no, I don't remember what I need at all."
Why am I standing in this room? What was I doing here?
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly, exactly, and that's something that everybody
Yeah.
goes through, and so I think that the fact that and I'm sorry I jumped in too, but, like, I think the
No.
fact that at that point, you and your wife were like, "Okay, we need to do something about this," I'm assuming was the
Yeah.
next step.
Yeah. I mean, we just started thinking about it and we're like, well, what is out there?
Mhm.
There's photo books, and photo books are beautiful, and
Right.
we love our photo book.
Yeah.
Um, but it's missing something, right? And we always like to say, like, what we've created in the Joinwell book is a photo. Like, if photos really are worth 1,000 words,
Mhm.
the Joinwell book makes that true because of
Exactly.
what it does. Videos, beautiful. They're really expensive.
Yeah.
You get a kind of a condensed 5-minute kind of like beautiful overview. They're
Mhm.
amazing. Uh, whether you actually watch that, I mean, it's just going to live on a hard drive somewhere.
Right,
Um,
right.
and then we started thinking about guest books too, of like, we love getting to sign a guest book, but it's kind of like we're just kind of giving them our autograph.
Mhm.
And maybe they ask for some advice, but we've got our 4 kids with us, and we're like,
Right.
there's a line behind us, and we're
I know.
seeing people we haven't seen, and we're like,
Uh-huh.
don't go to bed angry, and then we move
Right.
on.
And then
So
that's what everybody says, that's, like, the
yeah,
number one, like, give a kiss before you go to sleep, like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
great advice, but
right.
it's just a snippet. And
Exactly.
as a planner, like, not everyone signs that guest book.
No.
Right?
Nope.
It's hard to get people who are seeing family and friends and meeting new people to be like,
Right. Right.
let me walk
Yeah.
over there and do that.
I
So
mean, there's a lot going on for bride and groom, but there's still a lot going on for all of the guests as well,
yeah,
like, especially if they're family and then they're
mhm,
suddenly in a room with all of their other family, whether that's a good thing or not, So, they've got a lot going on, and sometimes they don't see the guest book. And of course, from a planner's perspective, we always try to be like, hey, like as they're coming into the reception area, like, hey, guest book's over here, take your time and sign, blah, blah, blah. But there is a point in the night where we do have to start packing that stuff up, So,
right, yeah.
um, yeah, absolutely. So tell us a bit about EncourageWell and then the Joinwell specifically. I know that's the wedding version, and just give us a brief overview of kind of the
Mm,
whole concept. Because I know
yeah,
we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but I want to dive deeper into like the Joinwell and your ideas behind it and kind of how where we are right now.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. So EncourageWell is a website and a tool that me and my wife built. Um, and it's really simple and easy to use. So yeah, when you hear me reference EncourageWell, it's this tool that we built out that you can use for like any of major life events, right? Think
Hmm.
graduations, weddings, unfortunately, like end of life, funerals, um, coming of age, retirements, milestone birthdays. Like, these moments are so meaningful. We know it.
Hmm.
And so we wanted to create a really easy, simple, fun, and meaningful way to capture these memories. Um, and then we build them into books. So that's where the Joinwell book comes in. And Joinwell's our wedding, elopement, engagement book, marriage oriented. And the idea is you have a unique love story from how you met, your proposal, right? There's going to be stories along the way.
Yeah.
You're spending so much time thinking through what you want your ceremony to be like. What do
Hmm.
you want to include? Are there? I just went to a wedding here recently. We actually got to do this book. It was a dear friend of mine, but he lost his mom a handful of years ago,
Hmm.
and oh man, there was not a dry in the room, and I'm starting to tear up now. But
Yeah.
there's this beautiful like moment for his mom in the middle of
Hmm.
the ceremony, and just how meaningful that was for
Hmm.
him, for his bride to be, or within minutes, bride to be,
Yeah.
for the whole family, and then everyone there. And
Yeah, I just
um,
got chills. Oh, I love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. So we build them into these really beautiful coffee table books
Mhm.
that are gonna live and stay with you, and are things you can go and grab on a date night, and you don't have to go through the whole thing, although you might.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
flip through. And so the idea is we want to capture what's unique about your love story, your
Mhm.
wedding, your elopement, whatever it is that you're entering into. Um, in a way that like videos just can't do. Right, your videographer is not going to go around and
Right.
connect with each guest and go, hey, do you have some encouragement or advice
Yeah.
you want to give? um, Photo books, I mentioned the story about my kids. Like, they're beautiful, but they can only capture so much. And then
Mhm.
guest books, they collect two things. They collect autographs, and then they collect dust and storage.
Right.
They're cool. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Right.
dust,
Oh yeah.
but they could be so much more. And so that's really really what we're all about. And that was a big part of our motivation was how do you create something that allows the meaning and all that work that you and your wedding planner and your family is pouring into
Hmm.
a day like that, and how do you capture that in a way that you can cherish it for the rest of your life, and you can go back to and reference, man, here's what, here's that conversation that maybe would have happened on the side with my grandparent where
Hmm.
they were encouraging me, giving me advice, that you're like, as much as you intend to remember that, like maybe you remember a snippet, but this
Right.
allows them to have the time and space to really think through what they want to say, how they want to contribute, and then we're
Hmm.
going to capture it. And you can add photos into it. So now,
Yeah.
man, it just comes to life where you've got like a picture of your best man giving his speech next to his speech,
Right.
or a picture with your
Exactly.
grandma next to some like beautiful like legacy kind of stuff of like, hey, here's what we
Right.
learned from 50 years of marriage that we
Uh-huh.
want to pass on to you. Just
Yeah.
really cool. It's been really really fun
Yeah.
to do this. Yeah.
No, I love it. And every time that we talk, I always love this idea. I think that it's such a genius idea. So kudos to you and your wife for coming up with this. It's amazing. Um, Yeah, no, I love it. Like I said, every time that we talk, it's so fun to hear about you guys. Tell us a bit about the process. So we've gotten to the point, we know join well. We
Mhm.
know that you can put down your speech next to a photo if you want to wait to publish, like after you get the pictures back. So that's super great. Tell us about that like between process or leading up to, or
Yeah,
walk us through the process. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And it's a totally new, unique concept. And so I
Hmm.
think, yeah, I think I get that question quite a bit of like,
Yeah.
all right, like how much work is this going to be for
Right.
me?
Yeah.
Um,
Because I
I
mean,
mean,
planning a wedding's always already extensive,
yeah.
so yeah. But what I
So
love, and of course, I know you're about to jump into it, but what I love is just it's so easy, and it's just you would think it would be scary, but I'll let you
um,
explain.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You would think that, and like, and I built a book for my wife for her 30th birthday.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a great idea.
it's so fun, and I got 30
Yeah.
people to write a letter, right,
Oh,
for her 30th. It was really, really cool and
that's
meaningful, and
amazing.
it drove me nuts. Like, it took so much time and reminding people and being like, "This is your sister. This is your friend. Like, just
Right.
write a letter,"
Yeah.
and people, they did love it. It just like it's just a lot of work to do something like
Yeah.
that. So we knew we had to make this process just simple,
Hmm.
easy. We wanted it to be fun. Like we knew like, hey, hours is out of the question. This is a busy
Right.
season of life. We need this to be minutes.
Hmm.
Um, and some of the feedback that I've heard, and I would even recommend people who are interested, is like make this a date night. Like, what a
Yeah. Oh,
fun
that's a
date night!
great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the process is as simple as this. You go to our website,
Hmm.
and it'll be in the show notes, but it's encouragewell.com/joinwell.
Perfect.
And it's free to use our tool, entirely free. So you get to our website, there'll be, I don't know, there's probably 10 buttons on there that's like, hey, click here to get started, free to
Yeah.
start, right? Click one of those buttons. There's a quick form you fill out, give us the name of the people that we're celebrating for this wedding or
Mhm.
elopement, when's the ceremony date, etc. You're going to get an email giving you free access. You log in, and your JoinWell book project is going to be waiting for you in this website tool
Mhm.
that we've built out. So you get there, and then this is where your date night begins. Right? You sit
Yeah.
down, have a glass of wine, turn on some music, whatever floats your boat, and
Mhm.
our tool is really intuitive. So you can go through and you can kind of, we have maybe some recommended things you may want to consider. Um, but you get to customize this to your unique love story. So
Yeah.
you can add things like how we met, what's our proposal story, details from your ceremony,
Mhm.
things like speeches, vows, toasts, lyrics to your first dance, right? All these beautiful words that you've kind of really carefully thought about what you want to include. Um, you include those sections, and then you can invite not just guests, but there's going to be people who maybe can't come to your wedding, or maybe you're doing a destination wedding, or maybe you have a grandparent who's sick and just can't attend. And
Mm-hmm.
it gives them the opportunity that a guest book can't, where they can upload and contribute words of advice, encouragement, stories about who you are, who your fiance is, depending on who they know that are, some really cool ones have been like, hey, this person's always been such a loyal friend. Here's this beautiful story that, your loyalty is going to
Mm-hmm.
serve you really well in your marriage.
Right.
And so you go through and you can drag and drop whatever order you want. You can
Uh-huh.
create totally custom contributions. So if there's something unique that you go, hey, I really want this to be a part of our book, and this is so important to our story.
Mm-hmm.
Something like um, that mom who had passed away. Like, you can capture something really cool um, about that part of your ceremony, or about their story, or did someone know that they weren't going to be able to make it because they were going to pass, and they wrote a letter? Like, there's
Mm.
just so many cool things you can include.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it takes minutes. So you go through and you just go, here's what we want, here's what we
Mm-hmm.
don't want. Um, and then you set to work inviting, which is, again, like a click of a button. So for each
Yeah.
one, a great example would be Father of the Bride speech.
Mm-hmm.
Go into that section if you want to include that. You put in his name, his email address. You indicate, hey, this is Father of the Bride, and you hit send invite. And then after you've gone through all of them and you've done that, the ones you want to invite people to contribute to,
Mm-hmm.
like, go and enjoy your wedding and be present.
Yeah.
Um, it's not your job to preserve these memories, and even if you try, you won't. You won't be
Right.
able to.
Right.
Like, and you're gonna want to just be like so in the moment. And that's what we do,
Absolutely.
and that's what our tool does. Is like, let us preserve all of that.
Uh-huh.
Um, Let us give your guests that ability to add their words. Like, they want to do this. It's a wonderful
Right.
experience for them.
Yeah.
Our tool is going to gather all of that while you're out enjoying
Exactly.
the day of your life. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Well, and if you're sending this stuff out early, like let's say you do have a grandma, she's still going to be at the wedding, but maybe she just really wants to give you some extra advice, then she could come up. I just picture,
yeah.
like grandma coming up being like, well, when you get your book, I've written you like a letter. I can't wait for
Yeah.
you to read it, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. I feel like
Yeah.
would be so special, especially if you were to do this, let's say like from a best man is wanting to set this up for his best friend and his bride, and it's a total surprise. You could do it that way too. Right.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's,
so I mean it
there's,
could be a total surprise, and then talk about a gift after that. I know if somebody were to give me something like that, I would be in tears on the floor. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah, so question for you, could
Totally.
we do this after the wedding?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I've had people want to start it at their 1 year anniversary. They're like, "Gosh, we have a lot of these things.
Yeah.
They're just in all these disparate places. I've got a piece of paper with this speech, and I've got my
Uh-huh.
vows written here." Um, yeah, you can absolutely start whenever. I would say
Uh-huh.
most people, like, there's something cool about starting before.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that's a good time to start, and it gives your
Mhm.
guests that time and space to. So many of your guests are there because you matter to them, right?
Right.
And a lot of them would love the opportunity, and are probably even like humming and hawing on, like, should I
Yeah.
pull you aside? Like, I'd love to just encourage you, or
Uh-huh.
remind you of how important you are, give you advice, whatever that may be. But it's like, the wedding day is just busy, and it's a blur.
Right. Oh,
And even if
yeah.
they do pull you aside, are you going to remember it?
Right. You're
Um,
probably, especially if it's prior, you're probably like, oh man, like I've got to go to photos soon. Like my hair and makeup's taking
yeah,
forever, blah, blah, blah,
yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
important stuff that you should be able to sit with.
Yeah, this is the important stuff for sure. And
Yeah.
not that your hair and makeup aren't important,
I
not
mean,
that those
in
details.
comparison, but yeah.
Yeah, totally,
Yeah.
100%. So,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people will start beforehand. And again, our tool, like, you spend a handful of minutes, you build it
Hmm.
out, and then you let our tool handle the rest. So we're going to invite anyone who's contributing. We're going to give them really gentle encouragements and reminders along the way.
Hmm.
We're not overwhelming them, or just reminding them. Um, for their experience, it's wonderful. They get an email, they click on it, same thing. They get just a web portal where they can go start on what they want to say. They can always
Hmm.
come back to it. It's going to still be there. They can edit it. They can think through it. And then when they're ready, they submit it. And
Yeah.
the tool is really easy. They can use speech to text. Tools
Oh,
like
wonderful.
Grammarly,
Yeah.
WordCheck all work within it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really intuitive, easy. And then when they're ready to submit, they hit submit, and it comes into your overall project. Um, and yeah, it's so that's the kind of before the wedding, and then after
Mhm.
the wedding, we recommend people wait until they get their wedding photos back because again,
Right.
it just brings this book to life in such a cool
Absolutely.
way.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
like you mentioned earlier, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but if you have the picture and then the speech right next to it, then it's worth 2,000 words,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. What happens when you forget those words?
I
I know it
know.
was worth that, but I've lost it.
Yeah.
And so then at that point, like now we've gathered everything.
Mhm.
Some contributions probably will come in after your wedding, like speeches. Maybe the best man doesn't finalize his speech until he's walking up to give
I
the
know,
sort
which
of thing.
my dad did with his father of the bride speech for my sister. He didn't know
Yeah,
what he was saying until he was up there. So that would be a good thing for this sense.
yeah. Well, and they're gonna know like, hey, we want you to submit this afterwards. So maybe,
Yeah.
maybe and they're already gonna spend so much time thinking through what they want to say, how they
Mhm.
want to say it. Um, but people can submit afterwards, right? It's not like it's got to be in before or you
Right.
have to wait till after. So we
Mhm.
give a lot of time and space. Once you get your photos back, then at that point you go onto our website and you go, hey, which book do we want? And there's a lot of
Yeah.
cool customizable options. So at that point, that's when you order your book.
Right. Okay,
Um,
perfect. Yeah, I was gonna
yeah,
ask you, can you tell us a bit about the customizations and like the personal unique feel that you can put on it after the fact? Like you've got
yeah,
all the stuff. What do you do? Like how can you make it personal after that?
yeah. So adding photos is a big part of that, right? And so
Mhm.
for each contribution, you can add a photo. And so now you got a picture of you and your spouse and your grandma, and you
Right.
next to advice that she submitted, or pictures with your bridal party next to encouragements that they've
Mhm.
contributed. So that's probably the most meaningful customization you can do.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but we're about to have three different types of books. We'll have a lay flat book. We're going to
Mm.
have like a large, beautiful wedding hardcover book, and
Oh,
then we
perfect.
have it's a little bit smaller, but it's like a linen wrapped hardcover book as well. So got
Beautiful.
options. There's different colors for the linen wrapped.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, Again, you kind of set what goes in the book, so it's totally unique to your love story.
Mhm.
Um, and then we can actually create. And I actually have a couple examples. I know people who are just listening won't be able to see, but
Yeah.
there's these
Beautiful though.
dust cover book jackets that are
Yeah.
also customizable that go around the outside, kind of help preserve that book.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah,
beautiful. Those are new, aren't they?
yeah. These
Yeah.
are this is maybe the most recent one.
I love it. It looks
Yeah.
so good. I know, I'm sorry to our listeners who are just listening, but they look beautiful. You should go check it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, go to our website. We have videos of them. There's pictures
Yeah.
of them. It's they're just there's nothing like it, and they
No.
really come to life.
Mhm.
And you mentioned the customization, and that was so key to us. Is we didn't want this to be like hey, just fill out this form, and everyone kind of
Right.
gets the same standard book just with
Mhm.
your answers.
Right.
We wanted this to be like, hey, what makes this special is this is your story, this is your ceremony, this is your
Yeah.
wedding. It should be as unique as what you are committing to, and
Mhm.
your big day. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I love the point that you just made of like it's not just like a what makes me think of it when you said it was like there are those books that you get growing up that are like when I was in kindergarten my favorite color was the like those kind of
Yeah.
like you just answer the questions whereas this is totally different. Like you can pick who you want added in. You can pick if you want your proposal story, your like the whole nine yards. It's totally customizable, totally unique to you. um
Mm.
and I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. We even joke like maybe you decide like, hey, we're gonna invite Uncle Jerry to contribute, and let's
uh,
just see how it goes.
yeah.
Even once you get his contribution back, it doesn't have to make the final copy. So
Okay, so
you know,
there are some
you're
safety
not
nets there. Yeah.
you're not stuck with Uncle Jerry's weird advice. Where you're like, boy,
Right.
do I really want to print this?
Yeah,
Uh,
do I want this to sit on my coffee table for my kids to read later?
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's just such a unique it's a unique option. We're so excited about what this can be and what this can
yeah,
mean to a
uh-huh,
couple and to a marriage to encourage them. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So you've already got a few out there. Um,
Yeah.
Tell me some feedback that you've received from some of the couples that have already gotten a
Uh,
Join Well book.
yeah, the feedback's been awesome, and I would even like categorize it in two categories. One is from the couples themselves.
Hmm.
I had one couple call me. So this was, I think they got their photos a couple months after their wedding. We worked to customize it. And really that's also simple too, right? They just sent me the photos. I added them.
Okay.
Put it all together. You get a final proof that you go,
Oh,
oh, I
nice.
love
Okay.
this. We're ready. Let's go ahead and
Uh-huh.
print. You've already ordered what size and type of book you want.
Right.
Um,
So when they send you, sorry, when they send you the photos, are they just like, we want this picture to go with the best man speech page. We want this picture to go
yeah.
with this. So it's just simple like that.
Yeah, and in fact, each one
Okay.
of the contributions that you've picked has a number associated with
Oh,
it. So
okay,
number
perfect.
one,
So you could
two.
just be
So
like, this goes with number five.
yep, send me, and
Yeah.
you can even just send me a whole file of photos that are just number one, number two, right? So we
Okay.
want to make this simple. Like this shouldn't be a lot of work.
Okay,
There should be a
perfect.
lot of meaning. So
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, keep
yeah,
going.
no worries, no worries. Uh, so they called me afterwards after they had received it. It got delivered to them.
Mhm.
That's also included in what we do is we will deliver it.
Oh, perfect.
And they called me and they just were like, we've just been in tears going through this book. And it turned into another like date night where they're like, hey, let's flip through this. And they're
Yeah.
like, wait a sec, like cancel our plans. And it was two things. It was one, like, even a couple months after their wedding, there was like details that are like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about this part of our ceremony.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, there's so much that goes into the day, truly. So,
yeah, so many unique things. And then again, you pair it with a photo and it just brings it to life. And you can
mhm.
reread the toasts and the speeches. But then there was also things that they highlighted that were like, yeah, we didn't get a chance to connect with, this family member.
Mhm.
But they submitted these words that are like, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
Yeah,
Um, and so they were just like, they were so grateful. And it was just so fun and affirming of like, yeah, we're doing something that matters here.
absolutely.
So that was one bit of feedback. And the one that, or the type of feedback that surprised me the most maybe is how many people who contributed, guests, family, friends, that have reached out and just said like, this was amazing. It was a
Oh,
great
good.
experience for us.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of work when you kind of look at how broad the book can be, and you can add any
Mhm.
number of things. But
Right.
it's like it's this mosaic of people all contributing 5-10 minutes, right? So
Mhm.
for any one person, this is like easy, meaningful,
Yep.
simple. Um, but all of a sudden you start to like zoom out and go like, man, here is all of the people that matter most contributing to this like legacy coffee
Mhm.
table book. Um,
Absolutely.
the feedback we've gotten from guests has been really cool to be like, wow,
Yeah.
this is meaningful for them as well. And
Uh-huh.
uh, yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So can you share a story where Joinwell book created a lasting impression on whether that's a
Mm.
marriage or just something, if there's someone or a situation that stands out most in your brain? And I know that that story was that you just told was kind of similar, but is there another one?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I would probably just share like that is the heartbeat of everything we're doing. Is like
Yeah.
creating and capturing these lasting. Well, you're creating the moments, right? Like you deciding to make these vows and to commit to another
Hmm.
flawed human being and go
Right.
like, hey, we're in it together.
Yeah.
Um, that's what makes this lasting.
Hmm.
We're just like a part of helping to capture it in a really easy, beautiful way.
Yeah.
Um, and so like I would say every single contribution we've gotten, I'm like, this is lasting, this is meaningful, this is beautiful. I know it's encouraged me and my wife to like
Hmm.
even think through some of the advice we've gotten over the years. As we're putting these books together, I'm like, wow, this is great advice. Like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go write this down. This is awesome.
Right.
Um, but that I like that is at the heart of everything we're doing is
Hmm.
how do you create space for the people who love you most to encourage you for a lifetime. I think
Hmm.
most ceremonies I go to now, the officiant goes, hey, look at all the people around you, the people that love you. Like, can we all commit that we're going to help encourage this couple?
Yeah.
Because marriage is a journey, and It's a
Oh yeah.
wild, beautiful journey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's not easy at times. And you do need community to wrap around you to like help you get through it
Oh yeah.
unscathed and to grow in the midst of it. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's like the heart of what we're trying to do is how do we continue to encourage you with the people who love you the most? Um, and they don't always know when they need to reach out. You don't always know when you need to reach out.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and this is like, yeah, just go pick up this book and
Uh-huh.
it's just going to continue to feed your marriage in this beautiful way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. No, that's I love it. I just love the whole concept, the whole idea. You guys have
yeah,
really I can't wait to see this take off because I know it's going to.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so and you're around more weddings than I am. Being a wedding planner, right? That you do
Yes, I
this
see a few.
professionally, and you're like not only are you at a lot of weddings, but you're such an intimate part of. Okay, how do we make this the best day of your life?
Right. Oh yeah,
Um,
that's our goal.
and yeah, yes. And
Yeah.
every wedding is chock full of these moments, right? Like you are
Right.
carefully helping to curate this
Mhm.
beautiful day. Um, so I like just out of curiosity, like, do you
Yeah.
have, and I'm sure you have a million, because every wedding has them, but is there a couple stories where you've been watching the ceremony or something at the reception afterwards, the party where
Mhm.
you've kind of like even yourself taken a step back and been like, oh, this moment, I hope you never forget this. Are there stories like
Yeah.
that come to mind for you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, there's with every wedding that I go to, there's always a portion of it that gets me, is what I call it. Like it gets me choked up.
Mm,
It's typically the father daughter dance, just because I'm such a big daddy's girl, but it always
mm,
gets me. But no, the first one that comes to mind. So I was doing this was this past summer, and it was actually one of my good friends' weddings. I was friends with both
mm,
bride and groom, and so it was really special when they asked me to help them, and we had a great time planning. And I was just so honored that they thought of me to be the one to help facilitate their big day. And I knew some of their family just from being their friend outside of this. But we get there, big days happening, wedding's going great. We're in reception, we're doing toasts. And the groom, he had one of his best friend's grandfather give the blessing. And
mm,
it was similar to what you said earlier, where there like wasn't a dry eye in the room. The
mm,
groom and his best friend, they like grew up together for so long, and just to watch how close even their extended families were with each other. Like this wedding was not the first time that their extended families had even met. Like
mm.
grandparents knew grandparents, like they were right down the road from each other like their whole lives, rode their bikes to their houses, like went to college together,
Yeah.
moved out to Colorado together. They were in Chicago before that, like they just went through all of these excuse me, major stages in their life together. And so the fact that he could ask his best friend's grandfather to do the blessing and he was just ecstatic about it. B, the fact
Mm,
that like he made it so beautiful. I could still like close my eyes and see his best friend's grandfather standing up there. He even asked for like a podium. It was really sweet. So he had like those like old school like church podiums that he was standing behind with like the microphone built into it, and it was just so
wow.
beautiful. The advice that he gave was incredible,
Mm,
and just in the sense of like um, grandpa, or I want to say they called him, I want to say his like grandpa name was like Poppy or something like that, something along those lines, Papa maybe. But like Papa might not be there for forever, but like this memory will be with the couple, and as well as the groom's best friend, to be like, we're
mm,
close enough to my grandfather spoke at your wedding. I just feel like that's not something that you typically see from like your parents speak, your sisters, your brothers, your
mm,
best friend, whatever. But like my grandfather spoke at my best friend's wedding, like that says something about your
mm.
relationship with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just like I love that he even the grandfather started crying during the speech, and he seemed like he was a pretty tough guy. I mean, he was from Chicago, he's got that like Chicago swagger
Mm,
about him, which I
yeah.
love. But even he started crying during the speech, and just the amount of love
Wow.
that was in that room during those toasts were incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
And
it.
that's something that
Like
you want to
that's
preserve, and I'm sure that that's probably what you're just about to say, but like that's the
yeah.
whole point.
That's
Um,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like yes, the bride and groom are going to walk away with this where they're like,
Hmm.
wow. But everyone walks away from whatever wedding you go to is going to have just it's chock full of moments like that.
Oh yeah.
It's why we're okay, spending all this money to go and celebrate someone and to be a part of it because
Exactly.
we want to witness it and we want to walk away from that day
Hmm.
with those moments that like encourage everyone,
Right.
right? And like it, yeah, that I mean that's it. Like that is it's
Hmm.
moments like those that I go like, yes, like, but don't lose that memory, right?
Yeah.
Don't
No. Absolutely.
and like again, that's what when I think back to my own to my own wedding, like,
Hmm.
oh, it just like there's just part of me that dies that I'm like, I don't remember my best man speeches anymore. And
Yeah.
we lost one set of our vows, like gone
Oh
forever.
no.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, those are moments that are just so impactful for
Hmm.
everyone. And it's again,
Oh,
it's goes back to like this day matters so much. Like,
absolutely. I mean,
so
when you boil it down to its simplest form, it's two people acting as individuals now coming together to act as one united
mm,
force.
yeah,
And then you have everybody else around you that's there to celebrate you and cheer you on. And, as we've
yeah,
said a million times already, it's just important to capture those moments for
totally,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the stuff that just it just fires me up and
Yeah.
motivates me and
Uh,
excites me.
just
And
makes you warm and fuzzy inside. I love it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. So, a little fun thing that we like to do on every episode of the podcast is every business has a shareable moment or memory. And I know we've been talking about stories a lot within the past couple minutes. But what story can you share, if there is one specifically, where Encourage Well or Join Well, more specifically, went above and beyond the client's experience? Or, like, we like to say, what
Mm.
moment would you categorize as like it took your take the cake moment?
Oh, it's so hard to choose with what we do because it is.
Every moment so
It
special,
is, yeah.
so
And what
like how
makes
can
it,
you pick just
yeah,
one?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it special is really nothing that we do. It's like what makes it special is you and your fiance are special human beings that have,
Hmm.
a beautiful mosaic of people around you that care about you, that
Hmm.
you're important to, and they're important to you, and your love story is special. And so, like,
Yeah.
getting to capture that is so meaningful.
Uh-huh. Do you have
Stories.
any or yeah, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, or
Yeah,
do you have any that are like you do you read through some of the speeches when people send them in, like from a like spell check or whatever basis?
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. We obviously like we keep these things private, and there's
Right.
things that are
Yeah.
like,
I
uh,
just didn't know if there were any ones that you read that were like,
yeah, no, they're all just so cool and meaningful.
oh,
Like I said,
good.
like it encourages us, me
Uh-huh.
and my wife. Um, yeah, I think of there's probably some like behind the scene things that like maybe people don't realize, but like these books that we create, like as you're creating them, like we're praying for your marriage.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, and our kids are praying for the people who do join well books. And
Oh.
um yeah, we know how big of a moment this is, and
Mhm.
how much encouragement you need for the life of your marriage. Yeah, there's been some like really unique requests where people have reached out and like, hey, I would love to do our book in this unique way. Do you think we can customize it this way? And it's like, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Let's make this happen. So one example would be like a bride to be really wanted to create this book as a surprise for her fiance.
Uh-huh.
And so finding a unique way where we could do that, and do it in a way that he was going to be totally surprised by, while still being able to capture his vows.
Mhm.
There's another story of a couple that, yeah, a few of the speeches were just entirely ad hoc, we'll call it, like, and they're perhaps it was maybe a little bit of like a open mic sort of
Yeah,
thing.
okay. Those can get a little dangerous.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. But they got him on video. Someone had him on their cell phone.
Oh, no.
And so they
Oh
were
my
able to
goodness.
send me the cell phone recording, and
Uh-huh.
I used a tool to get the transcript. Um,
No
we
way.
were still able to capture it. So it was a lot of work. Having gone through it, I'm like, okay, well, the next time could be a little easier.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like such beautiful, meaningful moments. I'm like, yeah, we gotta find a way. We
Yeah.
gotta find a way to get this in there. Yeah,
That's such a good idea that, or like, that's so cool that you guys were able to take a video and then transcribe it into being in the book. Because I know, like, if someone were to, like you said, kind of open mic, if
yeah,
somebody just gets the urge to go up there, it's not like they have anything prepared. So it's not like they're going to be able to go home and write down exactly what they said. So
yeah,
that's incredible.
yeah,
That definitely takes the cake.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So I know 100%, I feel it. Joinwell is going to be huge.
Mm,
What sort of future developments are you guys working on? Do you have any like sneak
yeah.
peeks you can share with us and our listeners?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's two that come to mind, and one's like just recent.
Yeah.
Like it was deciding to make the EncourageWell tool, which
Mhm.
then leads to your book totally
Right.
free.
Yeah.
We
I mean,
wanted that to be whether you ever buy a book from us or not, and we would love if you buy a book and like
right.
have something tangible versus just digital. That's gonna. Are you really gonna go back to just these, a Word
Right.
document?
Yeah, I mean, the whole point is to have something beautiful on your shelf or on your coffee table that you can sit
Yeah.
together. You don't want to pull up your
Yes.
phone and be like, "Let's read this online."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, like we talk to a lot of married couples, and it's like, hey, how often do you go back and watch your wedding video? And it's like, oh,
Mhm.
we should probably
Mm.
do that.
Yeah.
Your guest books in storage, but to
Right.
have your a book that you can go and grab, your kids can grab
Mhm.
when guests come over, right? Like it's just an easy thing to want to flip through, and it's
Right.
beautiful, and you're not going to be like, hey, everyone, do you want to pull up our wedding video? Like,
Yeah.
probably not gonna happen. So I think making it free is just a really cool thing that we just recently made the decision on, to
Mhm.
just go, hey, this is important. We want as many people to preserve these things.
Mhm.
We don't want people to share our story where they're like, yeah, that speech, our vows, that toast, uh, that conversation. I had a couple conversations where like my mentor, who was just such a big part of my life,
Mhm.
was able to pull me aside both before and during the wedding, and gone, gone, and like that
Yeah.
doesn't make them less special, less precious. And I've
Right.
created this additional bond to our relationship.
Mhm.
Boy, do I wish I had that. And I wish my kids could then flip through that. And I wish my son could read what my dad said to me on that day,
Right. Yeah.
and this is maybe something that every listener can relate to, but like think about going through your parents' photo album,
Mhm.
and it's meaningful and it's beautiful and it's cool.
Right.
But at some point, you're like, you just don't have all the context. And so I know for me, I'm like, Dad, cool mustache. Um, or like, who is this, groomsman of yours? Or,
Right.
wow, how did you pick those bridesmaids dresses? And
Yeah.
then you may still do that with your photos.
Uh-huh.
But then I see pictures of like my mom with her mom.
Mhm.
And I think like if my kids were able to read the advice that my grandmother gave to their grandma,
Mhm.
and then maybe if we were able to have a joinwell book, then you just
Totally.
have this like beautiful family legacy of advice and
Yeah.
encouragement.
Generational.
Yes, yeah, where it's like you're gonna want multiple copies so you can hand
Yes.
it down. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's the sort of stuff that. So we wanted it to be free. I kind of got off on a tangent
Yeah,
there.
no, it's great.
It was that we're like, no, people should have this, and
Yeah.
whether you should get it into book form because it's amazing.
Mhm.
It just brings it all to life, but like capturing it and preserving it all in one place, like that deserves every wedding deserves that, and so we wanted to
Right.
make that free. The
Mhm.
second thing that we're excited about, kind of a future thing, and it's in the near future, is we're working on developing a partnership with a company called Artifact Uprising.
Okay.
They're another Colorado company. Um,
Amazing. We love all the Colorado companies.
and they make maybe the most beautiful wedding photo album books out there. They actually they do all sorts of things beyond that, but as far as weddings go, they make beautiful wedding photo albums.
Uh-huh.
In fact, my wife and I have one of their photo albums, and
Even more special.
they're as beautiful as you can get.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them, and we're trying to develop a partnership, and we're just finalizing like which of their books can we print our Joinwell books on. So there's going to be two different Artifact Uprising books.
Mm-hmm.
One's a lay flat book, one's a hardcover, and then we'll have our another third option. That again, they're all beautiful and unique in their own way, but just give
Yeah.
people the options to go, what kind of coffee table book do we want? Different
Yep.
colors and different sizes. And do you want a lay flat book versus,
Uh-huh.
maybe more of a, I don't even know what you would call these, but just beautiful coffee table
Yeah.
options. So
Yeah.
that is coming soon. We're really excited about those options for people. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds great. I am so excited. I can't wait to see the lay flat books. I'm sure
Mm,
that those are going to be incredible. All of them are, but I know lay flats are just so beautiful with coffee table and the whole nine yards. So I love it. For those of our listeners who are interested in creating their own Joinwell book, I know you said it's free to get started. Where can they go to get started?
Yeah, our website is
Mhm.
encouragewell.com/joinwell. Again, it's going to be in the show notes. Once you get to that page, I mean, there's going to be pictures and videos, but there's all sorts of ways and buttons you can just click that goes, hey, let's get started on this on the free side.
Mhm.
Um, and again, it's minutes to set up. It's enjoyable. It's a fun date night.
Mhm.
It kind of brings you back to like, hey, this is why we're doing this, and this is what
Right.
makes it so meaningful.
Yeah.
And then you just go and you make the memories and you enjoy and you be present. And our tool is going to handle all of that. And then later, when you're ready to print and you want to add your photos, right? That's when you order your book. Decide, hey, do we want the lay flat versus the hardcover versus this linen wrapped one?
Mhm.
Um, they're all going to be, as far as weddings go, they're very, very affordable.
Mhm.
And so that was another key thing for me is like, I want people to have this. This is
Yeah.
cool. So going to our website, you can follow us on Instagram at EncourageWell.
Yeah. Yeah, give us all the ats. What are
Yeah,
the handles?
they're all at EncourageWell.
Okay. At
It's
Encourage
yep,
Well.
yep. So it's all right there. Again, go to our website. If you have questions, reach out to us. The website will make it easy to get in touch with us. If there's something unique that you're like, hey, can it really be customized to capture this? Like the answer is probably yes. And
Yeah.
let's figure out a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
Um,
I love
yeah,
it.
if you're an engaged couple listening to this, if you I have a friend who's going to get engaged, if you're a bridesmaid, if you're a mother of the bride or groom, um, at least use the free tool. Like you might as well.
Yeah. You might
This
as
is
well
what
try it. There's no
totally.
harm, And then once you try it and you fall in love, then then you are going to want to get the book for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Kyle. I've had so much fun getting to chat with you about this today, and I hope that our listeners have enjoyed as well. It has been such a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's always good to connect. And
Yes.
yeah, I hope regardless of whether you use a Joinwell book or not, like I just hope you enjoy your wedding. You
Yeah.
gather with those people, you kind of take a step back and look out at the crowd and just remember that you have a lot of people around you that are going to help you with that beautiful journey that marriage is. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks for having me.
Of course, absolutely. And to our listeners, if you're looking to capture your new unique love story, be sure to check out EncourageWell at encouragewell.com. Until next time.